All right, so the total amount that we earned for 2019, drum roll, Lulu, was the Beyond Drum Master Lee.
And Lulu.
And today, we're gonna share with you how much we earned on YouTube in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know this yet. I just added this
don't
up.
know.
You're gonna see how much of the work we did translated into dineros.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money
Oh,
talk.
this is exciting. Money, money, money.
Well, it depends how much it is because it could be exciting or disappointing.
Disappointing. Knowing how much you buy all this stuff just for us to look good, right?
Call that an investment.
That's right.
Actually, once it's all said and done, because it's equipment, I can write it all off. So it actually is almost a negligible cost. Here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to break down with you how much we earned for the year and on a month by month basis. So you can get a sense of like how fast we grew. You ready to do this, Lulu?
Of course I'm ready to do this.
The first thing you all have to understand is I actually been posting on YouTube for a good number of years, but really didn't take it serious until last year or so, right? This was around the time when we had celebrated our 10th year anniversary together, being married.
That's right, 10. Oh, gosh.
That's another video. Probably going to be more like a therapy video. But being together for 10 years, we wanted to celebrate. So we started to travel, started documenting.
Welcome to Sin City.
So, well, let's take this time to really like post stuff up on a regular basis, right? And that had quickly evolved into, well, this could be really interesting as a ongoing thing. Could we turn it into something that we could do full time? And that was my commitment in 2019. So the whole idea was that at the start around 2019, try to really commit to doing it on a daily basis. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I had seen a number of people who had gone daily and said how much of an accelerator that is in terms of growing on YouTube. Not just in terms of growing your subscriber base and the amount of money you earn, but growing as a creator, learning what it takes to create, the tools that you have to use, the techniques and how to storytell, like everything.
It's like the more you practice, the more you do.
And so that was the commitment. And in about a 3-month period or so, from January to March, I ramped that up. That was my primary focus. So we got our very first paycheck starting in April of 2019, which means that the amount of money we earned up to that point was actually just for those months. All right, so the total amount that we earned for 2019, drum roll, Lulu, was $10,947.
Wow. Wow, I didn't know that.
That's right. This actually had ramped up month to month. So when it started off, it actually was very, very little, but we kept growing. I kept committing to the format that I had figured out was working for us. And I'm going to break that down for you all right now with a few tips in terms of how you can learn from this and potentially do the same thing. Now, one of the things I did was actually, I had launched a number of different channels over this past year. And the reason why I did that was because I had heard from a number of, expert YouTube creators that you really should focus on one niche.
Well, unless you're already famous, right?
Exactly.
When you're already
Like once you're famous,
you can post
you can
anything
do
on your
everything.
channel.
So this is just a small YouTuber problem.
Who just started, right?
Right. So I said, okay, I will take that to heart, and we spun up multiple channels. So I'm going to actually summarize how much we made month to month, and this is a combination of all those different channels added together. Just try to simplify it all. So in April, we made $85.
Yay!
Now, that actually wasn't too bad.
Right.
Because it was only for 1 week of April, the last week that we started to make money, April 22nd. So come around May, on our main channel, which is a reaction channel, that was the one that I started to focus on most, we made about $506.
Oh,
That's right.
That's a big jump.
Big jump. Now, during that time, May was also when our second channel, our vlogs, had also started to monetize as well. So, although I have to admit, up until that point, like the watch time of our videos were pretty low. They're almost like half of what it is today because right, it was like, hey, here's our live. This is what we're checking out. Like nobody wants to see what we're doing because
we're not famous.
It's not like you got a sex tape out there somewhere. It's not like I'm involved with some sort of embezzlement. Yeah, we're nobody, right? So we have to cover topics that people are interested in first. And hopefully over time, they start to love us. And one of the things we really started to love at the time was doing reactions. And then with K-pop, we couldn't really make any money from it because it's all copyrighted content, right? So around May, $506, I actually thought was pretty good for month number 2, given those 2 issues. It's just that we really nailed, I think, this dynamic that we had around, being on camera together.
Wow, sweet.
Yeah. All right, so come around June, we made $522. I think it's relatively flat here because at the time I was still trying to figure out what was the right content mix. Because even if you do predominantly reactions, which is one of our main channel, React to the World, that's what we cover there. The reality is you can react to anything. You can react to movies, react to music.
React to puppies.
You can react to watching puppies, like a whole bunch of stuff. It was really around that time that what I started to see was really interesting was covering talent shows. Because talent shows have this type of drama and tension, right? That you're trying to figure out who's going to win. So we started to cover like that singing competition in China called The Singer. The music is very Italian. Whoa! And then the big one here in the United States, which is America's Got Talent, really took off for us.
Right.
People really loved our reactions to it, and we really loved the show. And that dynamic played out really well in front of the camera. We started to see an acceleration around that type of content and was real happy about that. July was actually when America's Got Talent, I think, was starting to get to the latter half of that show, quarterfinals, the semifinals. So we were able to make $1,303. More than double in June.
Damn.
Really started to took off. That would also help because at that time, I started to monetize our 3rd channel. The name of this channel has changed a lot over the last many months because I've been trying different things. At times I was calling it Jolly Reactions or React to the Jolly or John X Lulu Jolly because we were covering everything from the Philippines. And I figure, Jolly, Jolly Bee. People in the Philippines, very, very jolly. I just thought, man, it's an easy name, right? And that's when we covered Philippine Idols. And we became a really popular channel for that show. And Zephanie, who ended up winning the show, was one of our favorites. And in fact, she ended up commenting on our channel saying, thanks for being a fan and covering us. And that helped us boost our earnings somewhat in that month. Although overall, I would say it's probably still small in comparison to the other stuff we were doing with, mainly because it was how much money you can earn in the Philippines.
Cheaper.
It's a lot lower. All right, so come around August, we have 3 channels going. I am starting to be immersed in YouTube like 120%. This was all I was doing full time now. It was not working at all. Didn't have any side gigs. And during the month of August, we were able to ramp up to making $1,757.
Whew, you're paying the bills.
So basically, by August, we were making enough now to pay for our rent. Now, the one thing I will always caution people is that earnings go up and down. January is a lot slower, but since we didn't make money in January, I didn't know how bad it could get. But I was really happy with this. I mean, making over $1,700 a month on YouTube within a couple of months is pretty amazing. And again, this is a combination of content that we were putting out there on a daily basis. So September, we made $1,728. Just as good as the previous month. But the reason why it did so well is because in that month, AGT was wrapping up. So it was the finals, right? So we knew that some of the big acts like Cody Lee, V Unbeatable. Well, Cody Lee was generating revenue. V Unbeatable was giving us a lot of views. Unfortunately, V Unbeatable, because it's an act from India, and India also tends to have one of the lower CPMs. Also because some of the acts from V Unbeatable, they were using music from India that was copyrighted. We couldn't make money from it. But, I would say this, right? If we can monetize every one of the videos that we did on reactions, the amount we earned September was probably about triple.
Bigger.
But this was actually the first month I started to think about we need to start branching off beyond doing reactions. October, we made $1,159. A pretty big drop.
That's right.
And the drop happened because one, AGT was over. Exactly.
What are we going to do?
The main crux of what we're covering was over. So we didn't have what other big competition do we want to cover.
Right.
Also because at the time I thought, let's explore branching off and doing a K-pop channel. Right? Because I know that you really love K-pop. It's really popular as well. But, the effort amount of time that I shifted towards trying to get that off the ground actually really didn't bear much fruit. Overall, our K-pop channel probably earned a couple $100, but
because we love K-pop.
maybe if we get big enough, we can continue to do it. You're right, at least earn some money from it. But I realized that if I dedicated more time towards that, it's basically just saying I won't make money, right? It's a tough slog to continue to create all this content without monetizing. So October was a kind of an eye-opening month. We probably get about like 1 million views a month. Pretty good for a relatively new channel, but it's flatline. It's not getting bigger.
Right.
That's why you really can't look at our subscriber numbers. Like, well, look at our subscribers going up. You have to look at how many views, how many people coming in, because most of those views are from new people, right? Discovering you.
So not
was not
the
growing,
subscribers.
right? Now, November, we made $1,717. Like I said, it's because during the holiday season,
People are at home, watch YouTube. Is that what it is?
Nope.
Nope.
because ad dollars, companies are paying more to put advertising in front of you. So, where I was making maybe like $5 CPMs before, it will literally go up to like $8 to sometimes even $9. You can almost double your revenue in the month of November and December if you realize like you're in a hot niche, right? Any niche that people want to reach because, they want people to go spend money for the holidays. November was also the time when we launched another channel, right, around geek and gaming, particularly like business of geek and gaming, because that's been my background, my career. And I thought, man, I should really tap into that. It kind of started off around doing movie trailers, and I just shifted more toward geek and gaming stuff. I think I want to shift more towards business and finance for 2020 because I enjoy that kind of topic, and that topic tends to do really well. Yeah. And in December, the final month, we hit our crescendo, the biggest amount we earn in a month, which is $2,083. And every one of these channels were making money that we have out there. Our gaming channel that, like I said, just started made about $500 that month. Very similar to our reaction channel when we got it off the ground. Overall, when you add it all together, it is over $10,900 some dollars.
Awesome. It's incredibly amazing how you're able to grow so fast. Even not just grow fast, but make...
Here comes the money. Here we go.
Now, I think the wider picture here, and this is the reason why I want to continue doing YouTube, and it's because I'm now starting to understand like what I need to be doing to get to a 10x multiple, which is 100,000. Like, can I get to 100,000 by year 2? And there are some YouTubers who have done that. Granted, very few have actually been able to do that, but my goal is to ultimately think of YouTube as like, this is my livelihood. So when I think of it as a business, when I break it down this way, then it becomes something that's very tangible, becomes doable because it's just one step you take at a time. You double down on the stuff that works, you just course or fix, or you just kill the things that doesn't work. So I hope, Lou, that this has been insightful for you. I hope that you are inspired to get more involved because, quite frankly, a lot of this stuff that we've been doing, behind the scenes wise, I've still been doing predominant amount of it. And I'm trying to figure out how to convince you to get more involved behind the scenes as well, because you can do this too. This did not take a degree in being a YouTube, unlike my career, which requires like an MBA, right? This doesn't take 20 years of figuring out how to do strategy. This is stuff I figured out literally within 3 months. There's a lot of people out there who do YouTube and they're so happy to share with you, like, this is what we did to be successful. And all I did was just sit down and listen to them and go, okay, I will try that same method. And it works. Like if you follow the strategies that I'm going to share with you on this channel, you can do the same thing like we have. $10,000 in about 6 months time frame.
So I'm starting already, refreshing. Can you believe it? I already forgotten how to edit a photo.
No, I'm not surprised.
Simply as...
Because you haven't done it for like 6 months.
Yes, that's the goal, is for me to relearn everything again. Editing the video, editing the photos, and of course, filming. That's the challenging part, is to film, just to turn on that camera and talk. And
it's amazing how the easiest thing to do, which is to record, is actually the hardest thing to do.
The hardest, because you have to have the concept. You can't just do it randomly.